It's interesting because it's great to hear that you think that comes from the personal side as well, because I think quite a lot of the time we probably look at it and think they were back in the Champions League and they won Serie A with you there, and therefore that love and gratitude is performance driven. But actually there's a recognition beyond that.
Look, I mean, had we not been successful, it would be different, right? So it's difficult to separate out. In the same way as it's difficult to say, this person is responsible for this and this person's responsible for that, in the way that people want to. They want to neatly compartmentalize things. The reality of life is just not like that, right? So it's a lot of different elements that make the package. It's the way Arsene had a great saying, which I really loved, actually. He said, it's not about the players. It's about what happens between the players. And I think, teams are like that, and leadership is like that, and situations are like that. So what was happening was a lot of different things. So we brought in Ibrahimovic. So here's this, that time I think he was 38-year-old, figure that we all have an image of. And we put him with these 20-year-olds. We were the youngest team ever to win the scudetto. And we had Ibrahimovic and Giroud, at the top end of the – and so you can imagine how young the others were. And it just really worked, beautifully. So when people say, was bringing Ibrahimovic the key to turning around Milan? I say yes. And then they say, was bringing in Maldini the key to turning around Milan? I say yes. Was having analytics the key to turning around Milan? Yes, all of them. They can all be true. And I think, I don't know, if you took out one element or another, would all of the good things that happened have happened? I don't know, honestly. But it was the combination of all of those things that made these special moments. So Milan fans call it the most beautiful scudetto ever. And it really was. And there were a lot of other things related to that. We had COVID, so we were shut down. So when we had our trophy celebration, that season was the first time when we had fans back. We'd come back from COVID. We'd been told that our young team couldn't perform in full stadiums because they'd feel the pressure too much. So we'd been written off. Juventus, had fallen away, but we were competing against Inter right to the last game of the season. So it was going to be, the city was going to be blue and black or red and black. And nobody knew until that last game. And we hadn't won the championship for 11 years. And if they won, they were going to get 20 championships and a second star, right? And if we won, we were going to get 19, and we'd be 19 each. So there was a lot tied up, and we won. And so all of those things, it was like a perfect storm of emotions. And I think also the fact that we had this young team and we'd recreated this feeling with the fans just meant that it was phenomenally powerful. Those moments, and days really after the championship win and the parade on the bus, those are things that you just, they live with you forever. And now my connection with the Milan fans is, it's amazing. I mean, it's really, really a wonderful thing to have in my life, and I'm so happy and grateful for it.
How's it been then, leaving and managing the change?
Well, it felt to me as if this was just a wonderful arc. It really just felt like it was the perfect time. Things was in such a beautiful place that I would never want to spoil that. I had been through a lot, and it was a very intense 4 years, professionally and personally. And so I just felt like it was the right time to step aside. I'm always going to have that bond with Milan. I'm always going to have that bond with the fans and with the club. But it felt like the right time for me personally to take a break. During my time at Arsenal and Milan, I mean, I literally didn't have a weekend off. I virtually didn't have a vacation. So, I gave up a lot of family time very selfishly. And so it's been very, very nice for me just to be able to reconnect with my wife and my kids, but also, my parents who are both still alive, and spend some good quality time with them, and other relatives as well. I went to visit my sister in New Zealand. So it's been an incredibly special time for me to be able to just, take a break and try to work out what I might want to do next.